Okay, so I am ready for a new journal. We've been in this beautiful gray Archer and Olive B5 notebook for a year and a half at this point, and I am fresh out of room as soon as June was over. So it's time to go into a new journal at the mid-year, and I attempted to film my mid-year setup for you guys. I say attempted because technology failed me, and about an hour into doing all of my drawings, the camera turned off and I didn't notice until I was almost done. So instead of doing a setup video, we're gonna have to do a little flip through. So it's time to say goodbye to the old and hello to the new. So I put up a poll on my community page asking if I should stick with my B5 or move into a square 8x8 journal. And the results were surprisingly in favor of the B5, just in time for me to receive my beautiful Keeper of Bees B5 journal from Archer and Olive. This is from their spring release. They've started doing these really lovely full cover designs, and I am a big fan of bees, though not a keeper of them. And I thought this was going to be a really great addition to my journal collection. So this is what you guys chose without even realizing it. So let's get right into it. So here is my cover page for the second half of 2024. I used several stickers and images and things that really made me happy. This is actually the thank you card from Marigona Suli Art that she sent when I put in a sticker order of, obviously some botanicals. This is from the Sevi shop, which is run by Christine from the Rumi's Digest. And while I don't normally do a ton of quotes in my journal, this one from Emma Thompson really has always stuck with me. That books are like people in the sense that they'll turn up in your life when you most need them. And I find that with both people and books, sometimes they just hit you when you need it most. Then we go into my anticipated read section. I didn't do a header on this one because I know what this is, but I really love how this one turned out. I used some new washi tape from the washi tape shop that has a holographic edge detailing, a metallic holographic floral. Just sounded like something that I needed in my life and for this setup. So I cut out all of the floral elements individually and layered them on the top and bottom with a few pieces in the middle to kind of give some transitional support. And then these came from a Post-it note set that had several different varieties, but it had both a craft paper and a white like this that were already pre-lined and felt like library cards. So I cut them down to fit into the journal, rounded off the edges, and that is how I am doing my anticipated reads for the rest of this year and into the first half of 2025. August is a little full. It's a little full, guys. But I really, really love how this turned out, and I'm excited to use it throughout the rest of the year. And then these are actually two new pages for me. I have decided I want to do a little bit more statistics tracking. Obviously, I haven't filled out June yet because I am behind, and I want to track more than I have been in the first half of the year. So you'll see the back half of this fill up a lot more than the front half, but wanted to track more of my statistics across the year and also set my reading goals in my reading journal. I usually set them in my reading tracker. So I'm wanting to keep it all in this same space this year, which makes so much sense, right? So I want to read 75 books, complete 10 series, participate in 5 readathons, which we are actually doing a readathon right now that I am not only participating in, but co-hosting for the Tarot Readathon. There's a link to the Discord in the description in case you are interested in participating. We are still early enough in the month that you can get all the points for your team. And then to host more regular sprints. The readathons definitely help with. I am actually hosting 3 different sets of reading sprints this month. One even tonight, the night I'm filming this. We'll see if I actually get this posted before that. Probably not. But check out my channel to get the announcements. I try to schedule them in advance so that folks can plan for them or plan to avoid me, whatever makes the most sense. But hope to see you guys there. It's a great time to get productive with your reading or your journaling, whatever you are looking to tackle at the time. And then this is a new one for me. So I've never done the book bracket, so I wanted to try my hand at it this year. I'm going to wait until the end of the year though before I start filling all of this out. And I've done mine a little bit differently, where instead of 3 at the very end, I have to compare the 3 here, and then I just have it 2 going head to head at the end. It's just gonna be a little bit easier on my brain personally, so that's the way that I've done it. But if you've never seen this spread in a reading journal before, I first saw it with Plant-Based Brides with Elizabeth, and she pretty much just figures out what her top book of each month was and pits them against each other. And this can be a little interesting in terms of trying to figure out your favorite book of the year, because there are some months where I'm gonna read 6 5-star reads. I'm gonna read some of the best books all at one time period, especially with some of these readathons. So they might not get a chance to shine up against a contender in the same month, but they'll go up against maybe my June, where I only finished 2 books, one of which I did not like. So it's not necessarily the most scientific of methods, but it looks like fun and I wanted to try my hand on it. This felt like the right time. And then next up, we have my Goodreads goal tracker. Now, hilariously, the first half of the year, I did a beehive honeycomb themed Goodreads goal tracker. And for some reason, I did not want to replicate that into this second half journal in the Keeper of Bees journal. But I've seen so many tumbling paper spreads of various sorts in different reading journals across the years, and I wanted to try my hand at it. This also gave me an opportunity to play with more colors than I usually do, and even some markers that I've probably never touched before. So I was really excited with how this turned out. It was actually the very first spread that I penciled in, and I was so excited to ink it. So I'm really, really pleased with how this turned out, and hopefully I've gone a bit higher than my goal, but I hope that I have enough for the rest of the year. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to start spreading out some more Polaroids. But here's where I hit my goal for the year. And then this one should be very familiar to anybody who's watched any of my reading journal content in the past. This is my Shelfie, and I loved this one so much. I was so proud of it. It gives me joy every time I open up to it, that I really didn't want to attempt to replicate it or leave it behind. I literally cut it out of my old journal and sacrificed half of my anticipated reads and my Goodreads goal tracker for the first half of the year to keep this with me. And I'm so, so glad I did. I just cut it out, pasted it in, and tried to mimic the design into this center margin so that I could maintain this one, and I'm so glad. It was a little scary, I'm not gonna lie, cutting into my old journal, but I didn't want to say goodbye. And then here we have my series tracker, which I have expanded quite a bit from the 1-page tracker that I had in the first half of the year, because I am terrible at finishing series and wonderful at starting series. So I decided I probably needed some more space. And this time I'm including the numbers of the books and checking off when I have fully completed a series. So I get to have that lovely, yep, done moment, which I've not included in the past. And then I've got 2 different trackers here, one old and one new. So this is gonna be my 2024 second half arc tracker. I'm not doing super well on my arcs this year, but I'm hoping and praying that I get better. This has worked for me really well in the past. I didn't see any need to change it up. I also don't see any need to make this more than 1 page, considering that I've only read 4 arcs so far this year. But this is my very first DNF tracker, which I don't have a ton of DNFs yet this year, but I was heavily, heavily inspired by the Biblio Creeps, I believe April reading journal spreads, which she did a whole Southwestern alien abduction theme. And I don't have her artistic talent and ability to carry on that consistent of an art-based theme throughout several spreads. But I wanted to try my hand at this one because I was just so obsessed, and I'm gonna link that video below for you guys to check out as well because I thought it was so good. So I wanted to do my little Southwest scene. We've got somebody getting abducted with the world's saddest looking cows, and then I did a little like gradient into pointillism so that I had some white space to write out the DNFs as they came in. But I'm pretty proud of this one. And then this is also a new spread for me. I wanted to be a little bit more intentional about hauling and unhauling books. So tracking and writing down when things are coming into my house, when things are leaving my house. I think hopefully as this evolves, it might even come with some financial components to see how much I am spending to bring books into the house. But I just wanted to try in a casual way without having too many details in here. I'm literally just putting an icon by it if it was a gift. That's the only thing. I might put a like $sign on something that I sell if that's the case. But I did also do this as a Dutch door to give myself a little bit more room. And I think it turned out pretty well. I used the same pet tape from the washi tape shop that I used in my anticipated read section because I just love it so much. I wanted more of it in my journal. And then these are two new spreads for you guys. I'm really excited about both of these. So I am in 2 book clubs, the sci-fi and fantasy book club with one of my friends from grad school and a group of other friends from across the country. We meet on Zoom on a weekly basis and read through a book together. And then my Divided by 3 book club, which I am in with Sam from Love Sam and Emily from My Chaotic Shelves over on Instagram. I've linked everybody down in the description. We pick a sci-fi book. We've already laid out all the sci-fi books that we're going to be reading for the rest of the year and read them together, touch base with each other in an Instagram DM when we hit certain milestones, and compare notes and ratings, which has been so much fun. I've so enjoyed not just getting to read more sci-fi, but getting to see perspectives from other friends in sci-fi. Just getting to spend more time chatting with Emily and Sam because I just adore both of them. And if you don't connect with their content, what are you doing? Go connect with their content. Anyway, as you can see, I've been a little bit better about reading my Divided by 3 reads than my sci-fi fantasy book club reads. I had a health issue in April that really knocked me out into May, and I think that these books just suffered because of it. Whereas Ascension, I cannot stop talking about Ascension. This one was just an absolute mind bender, and I made it happen. I made it happen. But hopefully for the rest of the year, I get a little bit better at completing this book club as well. Then here are my content pages. So I decided to keep the tracker that I had last year. I still need to fill in a little bit more information, but the lighting was good right now and I wanted to film this. So I'm really only tracking how many videos I post, what changes happen with my subscriber or follower counts, just to see if there are any trends, any changes. What was I posting more and that's why it went up? Did something just pop off? Have I not posted anything and everything tanked because of it? And to counterbalance that, I have ideas a lot about things that I want to film, video ideas, and I lose a lot of them because I don't write them down anywhere. I don't plan them very well. I'm just like, oh yeah, that would be good. Buy a bunch of books, let them sit there and never get with it. So I have set up an idea page where I can almost do a little modified Alistair method of, here's my idea. Have I planned it out? Have I ordered the books, filmed it, edited it, and posted it? So to try to hold myself a little bit more accountable to things that are not just updates or reading journal content. So I'm excited to see how this one plays out for me throughout the year. And hopefully that means more content for everybody now that I am back on my feet and back in the saddle. And that's it for my annual setups, but I did want to give you guys a little flip through of July. So I have really been loving my Moochie Bojo Patreon stickers for the last few months and wanted to incorporate them and really just led July with her stickers by and large. Every sticker that you see on here is Moochie Bojo, including these really cute eyelet stickers. And I have zero regrets. I wanted something bright and colorful and happy. Does it feel like July? No, not necessarily, but it makes me happy. So here we have just my cover page, just there to be pretty, but I have a month at a glance. And I have been trying a few different means and ways within my reading journal to track how long I'm reading each individual book. I know that sometimes with my book clubs, I may be reading them for the full month, but sometimes I may be rushing through them in a day. And I like to see that visually. And this is the one that's really been clicking for me. And how it's gonna work is really just highlighting in a different color whenever I am reading specific books. You can see here in March where sometimes I stack books real deep as I'm reading them. But looking forward to seeing this fill out with so many beautiful floral tulip inspired colors. And then here we have my pages read, which I actually do need to fill in for the first day of July already. But here I'm able to track exactly how many pages I'm reading on a daily basis throughout the month. And sometimes this page is really blank, and that's okay. And sometimes it's jam-packed and it can be all over the board. But it's really good to just get an overhead view. And so while this spread is primarily Moochie Bujo's tulips from, I believe, April, now we're getting into her strawberries and mochi Patreon sticker set, which I also just adored. And I thought that they really went well together. Even though they don't maybe have the exact same colors, I think they have a similar bright, happy energy. So that's why I went with this one. And because I have this mochi strawberry bubble tea sticker set happening over here, I thought I would keep the cafe feeling going by doing my books read spread as a menu board, which I think turned out really well with my abysmal art skills. But I'm looking forward to getting this one all filled in. And one last spread before we go, and that is for my tarot readathon. So I am a co-host for this for the second year in a row, and I'm so excited. This is a month-long readathon that was created by Deja and Noelle, and they have gone in and created a huge deck of prompts. So basically you are able to pick a team where you get some perks and deficits because of your team. So I am Team Pentacles, and you will draw tarot cards for yourself. You can draw as many or as few as you want, and those correlate directly to prompts. And there's a list of all 79, I think, tarot cards in both the major and minor arcana. So you draw your cards, get your prompts, and read your books. And then every week, each team gets a special bonus prompt that you can complete multiple times and even overlap with your existing individual prompts, called a significator card. So I'm not entirely sure how I'm gonna lay out my prompts versus significator prompts in this space, but I wanted to get this all set up so that my brain could start percolating on how exactly I want to list my cards, if I want to print out my specific prompt cards or just write them down. But was really excited to get this laid out because I know last year during the Tarot Readathon I had so much going on in my personal life, but the readathon and the community that it creates kept me going. And I read more books in the month of June last year during the Tarot Readathon than any other month during the year. So I'm really excited to crush some of my goals and get some of these prompts knocked out. I will be doing a reading vlog for the first few weeks, if not the full month, of the Tarot Readathon, including some clips of my friend Jenny pulling my first 4 cards for me. And I was so excited to include her in this journey. And all of these I actually just pulled from Canva. I just laid them all out and printed them on my HP Sprocket, which makes it super convenient because then they're already stickers. And that is it. We are all set up to hit the last half of the year in strength. I would love to hear from you guys. What do you think of some of these new spreads? Are there spreads that you use in your reading journal that you think I would be interested in adding to my repertoire? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this, please consider hitting that like button. And if you would like more content from me, you can click that subscribe button. I post content when I can. There is no set schedule. I am so sorry. But thank you for spending some time with me today. And until next time, bye guys.